Draw me close to you. Never let me go. I lay it all down. He'll see you free. You are my no one else will do. No one else can take your place. Now when I wanna be of your embrace. Help me find my way. Bring me back to you.
I will be God. I will be God.
Bring me back to you. Alone in me. Because I've seen you work
In us, and I want you to work in me.
I've seen you working others.
In us, and I want you to work in me.
I've seen you working others, Lord.
In us,
And I want you to work
I want you to work in me.
Anybody feel like I feel? I've seen you working.
In us,
And I want you to work.
I want you to work in me.
I've seen you heal the sick through others.
You work,
And I want you to work in me.
to work in me.
I've seen you working others.
In us,
And I want you to
I
work.
want you to work in me.
No one else can take your place. Not when I wanna feel the warmth of your embrace. Help me find my way. Bring me back to you, yeah. I wanna come back to you, Lord. Yeah, yeah. Let it be done, Lord. Let it be done in me. Let it be done in me. Because I've seen you work. And I want you to work in me. Say it with me. Say, I see you. And I want you to work. Some of you need to close your eyes right now. Talk to the Lord and tell him, I see you. And I want you to work in me. Say it. And I want you to do the same thing.
in others. And Lord, I want you to work in me. Draw Me Closer is the name of that song, To You, O Lord, by Brother Marvin Winans. A beautiful selection. I want to thank my brother Alonzo. He picks all the songs that we have on the show, and I think he does an absolutely outstanding job in selecting the songs, whereas we are trying to send messages out to this community. My name is Greg Grant, host of the Grant Brothers Bluff City Report. My co-host, the guru of all the music on this show, is here today, Mr. Alonzo Grant. Alonzo?
Greg, we finally can get back together again.
Yes, sir. It's good to be here.
Good to be on this side.
Good to see you.
So we did some different things in the last couple of 3 weeks. Celebrating Dr. King's 50th, I don't know if we want to call it a celebration. Commemoration.
Yeah.
50th death commemoration date. And it was a blast.
It really was. All eyes on Memphis, Tennessee, and I think the city represented well. Mayor Strickland did an outstanding job with his presentation. And when I say outstanding, I'm serious about it. We had the Reflection Park open up.
Right.
We had the I'm a Man facility that opened up right next to the FedEx Forum downtown, right in front of the Claiborne Temple Church, where all of the rallies were being held. I don't think anybody was disappointed.
I really, like I told you the other day, I really felt like the mayor, Mayor Strickland, had his heart into doing what he did for the city of Memphis. I think he did an outstanding leadership job, you know, and I'm not just saying that lightly. I really believe he cares about people of color in this city.
Well, after all, you know, the city is 75% black.
Exactly.
And those who are looking and wondering, you got to get used to it. We are here to stay. And I think this mayor has figured out the right solution as to how to make this city work, blacks and white.
Exactly.
Wouldn't you agree?
I agree, wholeheartedly.
One thing we certainly want to talk about today, again, is guns. You know, guns on the rise.
Right.
And there's so many shootings going on. I mean, I've been talking about this for weeks now, about the number of people that are getting shot and killed or put in the hospital by gun violence in this city. We need a summit on crime. We need our elected leaders to step up to the plate and talk about solutions to the problems that we have. Right here in Whitehaven, at the IHOP, about 3 weeks ago, when the guy shot somebody coming out of the restaurant.
An Uber driver.
An Uber driver was picking up
guys
food.
Two guys tried to rob an Uber driver coming out of the restaurant.
And he shot them,
And
or
he
shot at him, or whatever he
He
did.
shot him. He shot one of them anyway.
And the part that disturbs me even more so, the IHOP is still closed, which means 32 people lost their jobs.
And it's gonna be close, because I told you early on, I knew it was gonna close, because the insurance company probably forced them to close.
Because it's like the second time or
Third time. I mean,
Something
I
like
think
that's
someone
happened.
got killed the second time. The first time a person got shot, second time a person died. But I think it gets back like we talked about this gun situation some months ago. And I have to keep going back to the premise of it's more than just what you see. Because like you spoke about, the elected officials need to come forward. Well, they're afraid. And they can't.
Why are they afraid?
Because of the gun lobbyists and the gun people. It's people that's making tons of money on us peddling guns, and that's not to excuse our behavior. I mean, we should be a better group of people than what we are. but it's some other elements, or I would hate to say demonic forces, but it's other elements involved in this. And these gun people are making all this money at our peril. So I just think our elected officials need to grow some backbone and stand up against the gun people. And until we call a moratorium on guns like we talked about, we can have all the summits that we want. But if we can't stop and curb the flow of guns, nothing's gonna change.
Well, I was watching CNN about 2 weeks ago, and I saw in Maryland they have a law, whereas the police will actually go to the home of a illegal gun holder. If this person is reported to the authorities that a person has a gun and that gun is illegal, the police have a law in their city where they could go and confiscate that gun lawfully. And if the person refuses to turn that gun over, they can be placed in jail and placed in contempt. It's going to take powerful laws like that. It's going to take some economic infusion, because most folks are robbing folks because they don't have any money.
They don't have any money.
They don't have jobs. They don't have anything.
Yeah.
So the quickest way to get something when you don't have something is to take it from somebody else.
Right. And if you got access to guns and firearms, well, that's the quickest thing that you can get your hands on, and an easy way to put fear in the next person is to rob them with a gun. And these people are so petty now that they'll, not only will they rob you, they'll shoot you over $5 or $6, $10, $20, you know. So I submit to you, until we demand what we know we need and should have in our communities, you gotta stop the flow of guns. And I'm not saying that's easy, but somebody's gotta be willing to sacrifice, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's guns and poverty. Guns and poverty.
They go hand in hand.
Hand in hand. You know, it's like you were talking about the law in that particular state that you brought up. Well, if you're talking about legal and illegal, so if you make a law for illegal guns, who do you really hurt? Because all the important people and all the people with money, they got permits to have guns.
Okay.
So-
But they're not the ones robbing,
They're not the ones.
shooting,
Right.
holding up the Uber driver.
Right.
They're not the ones doing all of this.
That's
We're
right.
not saying take away your Second Amendment right to bear arms. We want every legal gun owner to have a gun if you so desire. We're talking about the folks who want to take a gun and do some illegal activity with it. That's my beef.
I mean, what about your First Amendment right? What about your Third Amendment right? What about your Fourth Amendment right?
Have them all.
You know, I'm just saying, they act like the Second Amendment rides over everything else, you know. The Second Amendment right to have a gun rides over freedom of speech, you know. I mean, but it's just a tool that they use to sell more guns. Look at the NRA. Look at the gun lobbies. Why do you think they spend all this money to keep guns in the pipeline?
Why?
Yeah.
It's all about selling guns.
More and more. More
You know?
and more. It's never enough for these people. So until we get some elected officials that will address that question, nothing's gonna change.
That's true. But we gotta have some laws on the books that will put some teeth into the bite for the authorities to have. I've asked some researchers to research that law for us and get that law to Memphis. We're gonna take a look at it. We're gonna be providing this to our city council to see if our city council in Memphis can craft something similar to that. My position is that everybody in the city of Memphis knows somebody who has an illegal gun. I just believe that.
And in a lot of cases, we sit back and we say the problem and say what we need to each other, but we're never really put ourselves in the position to articulate what we want and need to the powers that be. You remember when, a couple of months ago, when I Am Memphis came out, when somebody in the city got smart
That was Ursula Madden.
and it didn't set well with us.
No.
And we turned around and addressed the mayor about it. So he quickly reversed it and changed it.
He really did.
Because his thought was, I didn't know that's what y'all wanted or didn't want.
Right.
You know? So a lot of times these people don't know what we want because we never have an end game in a lot of cases.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were talking the other day about the football player. What's it, Colin Kaepernick?
Mm-hmm.
The protest. Well, you can't protest forever. You gotta have an end game. What do you want?
What do you want?
What do you want the NFL to do? I mean, the NFL can't fix the police problem. So that's nonsense to them, or that's not a real want. So you gotta have a want that the NFL can manage. Do you want the NFL to give $100 million to the poor or the, you know what I'm saying? What do you want? So they can either say yes or no and stop the protest, or you can continue. And they can say, well, we tried to fix it. At some point, it's got to come to a close.
And a decision has to be made.
That's right.
Just as the mayor made the decision to really invest in the MLK 50,
Right.
which made it a very big success for the city of Memphis. He made a decision.
Around the world.
Around the world. Memphis was on stage. I did not hear one negative report.
Not one.
And I watch all the cable news stations like you do. Not one
Not
negative report out of Memphis doing MLK 50. So I want to thank the mayor. I want to thank Memphis for putting on such a wonderful show. We've got to have strong elected leaders in this city.
That's right.
We really do. And we brought out today a copy of the ballot from the Greater Memphis Democratic Club.
Right. And it's beautiful.
And you might want to just kind of talk about it if you
Well,
like.
you can go ahead. I mean, you're the author and the creator of it, and I think you can do a better job with it than I can.
Well, this is the Greater Memphis Democratic Club ballot. This is the official ballot for our club. As a matter of fact, we sent this out to more than 41,000 registered voters in the city of Memphis. Probably more ballots put in the mail than any organization, than any politician in this election cycle. We are covering early voting
Right.
as it's going on right now. Out of 18 early voting polls, we're covering 11 polls.
Throughout May 26th, right?
Actually, yeah, April.
April 26th.
26th.
It goes through April 26th.
Today is the 22nd. On a Sunday, you got 4 more days
Right.
to actually vote if you haven't voted. Floyd Bonner is our choice for sheriff of Shelby County. Floyd Bonner. He's the best man for the job. As a matter of fact, he's already doing the job.
Exactly.
He's the #1 man in the sheriff department, right underneath the current sheriff. And the good news is that the current sheriff has endorsed him for the position. So when you vote for Floyd Bonner, you're voting for fairness, you're voting for leadership and reliable experience. Floyd Bonner. Then we go on down to the county commission individuals.
Right.
Why don't you hit those?
Well, we have at the very top, I think you have Willie Brooks, and he has no opponent, so he's not
What district is that?
District 6.
Okay.
And District 7, our pick is Eric Dunn, and District 8, the club's pick is Mikhail Lowry, and for District 9, we're picking Edmund Ford Jr. District 10, we're picking Reginald Milton. And District 11, our good friend Eddie Jones, we're picking him. And our friend Van Turner, we picked him in 12, which he really has no opposition. But Van deserves no opposition because Van was one of the authors of bringing the statues down. And Van did a great job, and no one should have ran against Van. He did a fantastic job. And if you go on down to the
We'll
bottom,
move on down to the next.
we have the county races.
Okay, the county seats.
County seats
Go
where
ahead.
Melvin Burgess is our pick for property assessor, and Regina Newman for county trustee, and we have pronounce
Andrea
yeah
Packus Gillens.
yeah for register of deeds,
Okay.
and we have Wanda Habit for county clerk.
What about our good friend Janice Fuller? What
Yeah,
are we
that's
doing
our
for
great
her?
friend. We picked her overwhelmingly, Janice Fuller for juvenile court clerk.
Okay.
And we have Bill Morrison for probate court clerk, and Heidi Coons for criminal court clerk, and our great friend and brother Dale Gill for circuit court clerk.
Well, good. And it seems like all of our people are going to fare well. You should ask for the Greater Memphis Democratic Club ballot when you go to cast your vote. This is the official ballot for the club. It's the one that's a winner. It's the one that's going to come out on top because these people have been vetted by us and they have met our outstanding, rigorous requirements in order to be endorsed. So for the next 4 days, we have an opportunity to make a change and to make a positive impact on local government.
Right.
So we talk about the money, power, the politics. On this paper, right here, gives you the power as a voter.
That's it.
Don't listen to all these voices and all these people talking and other folks bringing you all kinds of ballots and saying they're the Democratic ballot and they've got a bunch of Republicans on their ballot, and it's just crazy. Nothing but Democrats on this ballot.
Democrats.
It's the best looking ballot out there, and it's the one that makes the most sense. And we want to take this opportunity to push these individuals to let you know that these are the folks that we're certainly supporting for the positions as indicated on the ballot. So you got about 4 more days for early voting. You can vote anywhere you want on those particular sites. But on election day, which is coming up May the 1st,
Right.
you'll have to go to your home site.
So the best thing for us, because it's real convenient to get out an early vote, you don't have to have your voter's card, and you don't have to know where your ward and precinct is and all that. You can go anywhere you choose at these 14 early voting sites. But like you said, on election day, you have to go where you're assigned to.
Right.
And if you go there and you're not assigned there, then they're going to turn you away.
One thing I want to touch on before we go off the air tonight, they had an incident at our Robert R. Church Elementary School earlier in the week where it was reported on TV that a particular teacher dragged a kid off the bus. Did you see that on
I didn't
TV?
see that.
And a couple of days ago, the SCLC had a press conference denouncing the school, denouncing the teacher who was on the bus, denouncing the entire situation, and supporting the story that the child is telling. I'm told, and we're investigating the situation as I speak, that the teacher on the bus was trying to break the fight up. Have you ever tried to break up a fight?
Yes.
Is there any danger involved in that for you as a person trying to break up a
terrible
fight?
amount of danger. We were talking about that yesterday, about a fight, and guys were just throwing big time blows. You don't want to get in the middle of that stuff.
But here's a man that was courageous enough to try to get on the bus to break these kids up from fighting. And somebody videotaped him trying to pull him away from the fight and get all the kids off the bus. And I say, don't be so quick to judge this teacher. You need to find out what the facts are first before people start accusing this man of doing something wrong, accusing him of abusing a child, accuse him of all kinds of negative things that people are saying, especially parents, some parents at the school, and maybe some students. Everybody's telling 150 different stories as to how it took place. But if he hadn't intervened and allowed the kids to kill themselves on the bus, then the whole school would be up in arms and the entire system would be liable.
And you know, being a teacher is a major undertaking these days. I mean, you have no discipline mechanism, and you have to deal with kids coming from all sorts of backgrounds and all sorts of home training or no home training. And in today's school world, unlike in our world, you believe the teacher, you believe the adult, you didn't believe the kid, okay? I mean, but today, no matter what the adult says, then you believe the kid.
Well, the parent, I heard her on TV say, don't believe the teachers, don't believe the principal, don't believe the administration, believe your child.
Believe a 12-year-old child.
Let me tell you something. These children are bad. They are bad. And if you've got a kid in school, not all kids are bad, but a lot of them are bad. So don't tell me what they will or will not do. They will do anything
because they're
not supervised.
They know it's no discipline. They know you can't power them. They know you can't do anything. You can't even put them in timeout.
Listen, I say pull the record of this little kid. Pull his record. Has he ever been suspended? Has he ever been kicked out of school? Has he ever been disciplined? Who is this child? Who's his parent? Has this parent come to a PTA meeting in the past? Has this parent shown interest in that child? Or do they see an opportunity to sue the schools and get a payday?
And get some money.
To get a check. So I say to you, before you cast judgments, get the facts first.
Get the facts.
Get the facts, then you'll certainly understand the scope of the matter. My name is Greg Grant.
And I'm Alonzo Grant.
And on any given Sunday,
it's the Grant Brothers Bluff City Report. Thank you and have a good night, and it's great to be back in the saddle.
good night.
Good night.